Hi YouTube! In this video I want to show you a very affordable and compact size phone that I got from eFox. This phone is called the Gionee Elife E7 Mini. Comes in a very colorful box like this with some specs on the back that are more or less correct but a little outdated. It also comes with a very nice leather flip case, which is not a smart cover. It comes with a 5-volt USB wall charger, a USB data and charging cable. They also include some earphones. Also included are 2 screen protectors, a SIM tray opener and a bunch of paperwork, which is all in English. This phone has a 4.7-inch capacitive 5-point multi-touch screen with a 720 by 1280 HD pixel resolution. It is an IPS display and I'm not so sure if it's a one-glass solution. It has the MT6592 Octa Core SoC, which is clocked at 1.7 GHz. It has 1 GB of RAM and 16 GB of internal memory, but no memory card extension. It's running on Android 4.4.2 KitKat. It is a Quadband, it is totally unlocked and it supports 3G in either one of the SIM slots. It has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, a GPS, a G sensor, a proximity sensor, a light sensor, a magnetic field sensor, and it also has a gyroscope sensor. It supports USB on the go. It is supposed to have a 2200 mAh battery inside. It has just one rotating camera with a 13 megapixel output, autofocus and LED flash, and of course this phone is a dual SIM, dual standby phone. It weighs about 143 grams and it is about 8.5 mm thick. Let's take a closer look at the device. You have your proximity and your light sensor right here, and we also have the rotating camera with speakers on both sides. This is the camera module and of course the LED flash. The home, back and menu buttons are soft touch buttons and they light up nicely. On the bottom we can find a USB port, the 3.5mm headphone jack and a microphone. On the left side we have the SIM tray, which holds 2 micro SIM cards. Nothing on top. On the right side we have a power button and a volume rocker. On the back we have a Gionee logo and of course a speaker. And the back side has a matte finish, so it won't attract many fingerprints. Like always, I installed additional apps and games for demonstration purposes. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment sections below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to find out more, please stay tuned. The stock launcher is quite smooth and snappy most of the time, but it also can be a little laggy thanks to the 1 GB of RAM only. The stock firmware is not the cleanest one I've seen. Now I have disabled a bunch of apps that came pre-installed. I will show you in a second which one I disabled. Let's start by going into the settings. Let's check out about the phone, and as you can see it's running on Android 4.4.2. Back into the settings, let's check out the languages and input. Let's see which languages are supported on this firmware. Let me just scroll through them. Feel free to pause any second to see if your language is supported or not. Next up, let's see what we have here. Let me go into the apps and let me show you the apps that I have disabled. Here you go, it came with an antivirus, a poker game, and wallpapers and Twitter and stuff like that. I really don't think you need that, so I disabled it. Let's check out the storage. Now here's the bad news. The memory is split up into 2 partitions. It has a phone storage and an internal storage. So you can see right here you only have about 2.5 GB available for installing apps and games. But this phone also supports external USB storage, so you can make up for that a little bit. Next up, let's check out more. Let me go into mobile networks and let me go into data connection, and right here you can see that you can freely choose which one of the SIM cards is supposed to be the 3G SIM card. Next up, let me go into the engineer mode for you really fast. Where's my dialer? There's the dialer. Let's check out the band mode. Let's check SIM 1. And as you can see, it is a quadband, and those are the 3G frequencies that are supported, so please make sure to check with your service provider if your frequencies are supported or not. Next up, let's check out some of the Google apps. Now the Play Store comes pre-installed and it runs just fine, so there's no problem at all. Let's check out YouTube, and here is a major problem. Now YouTube seems not to work. Whatever I try to play, I'm getting an error message. There was a problem while playing, touch to play again, and it's not working at all. Now YouTube was pre-installed on this phone, which is a very bad idea. So I really don't know how to fix that. I guess you could either flash a new firmware. I checked on NeedROM, I found about 12 different firmwares for this phone. Or you need to remove the YouTube system app and downgrade to a older version of YouTube, and also make sure not to upgrade YouTube, otherwise YouTube will not work. Let's also check out Google Maps. Found my location right away. Of course that has nothing to do with GPS, I'm just saying that so you can see that all the Google apps are supported. Let's try out the Street View, and it's working just fine. And right here we can also switch into the compass mode. So you can see a magnetic field sensor is there, and the way it's scrolling, it is very smooth. So you can tell that a gyroscope sensor is also working. So much about the Google apps. Let's see what Antutu has to say. Always takes a while to initialize. Come on, and let me go into my history. And my test showed about 32,000 points. Right here we have close to 33,000 points, and again to 32,000 points, which is normal for this SoC. Now this is not exactly a world record, but it's still a very high score, and it should be able to handle almost anything you throw at it. Let's check out some info. As we can see, it has the MT6592 Octa Core right here. It has an HD resolution, 13 megapixel camera. Let's check out the display settings and test the multi-touch. And we have a 5-point multi-touch. And let me scroll all the way down to show you the supported sensors. Here are all the sensors that are on the phone. But of course we can also test these sensors. Let me go into the sensor box. Let's go back, and here we have the accelerometer, also known as the G sensor, and it's working just fine. We have a light sensor. Let me give that a try. And as you can see, it is working. What else do we have here? We have an orientation sensor, also working. We have a proximity sensor, and it's also working just fine. We also have a gyroscope sensor, but I will show you a different test for the gyroscope sensor also in a second. We have a sound sensor. Let's test out if it's working, and it's working fine. And we also have a magnetic field sensor, and again I'm gonna test it in a different way. So let's start with the magnetic field sensor. So let me just start a compass app, and it's working. I really can't say how accurate it is, but it is working. Let's exit. We can also test the gyroscope sensor with a live wallpaper called Gyrospace 3D. And as you can see, the gyroscope sensor is working perfectly, because this app only runs on phones that have a gyroscope sensor. What else do we have here? We can go into CPU-Z, and we can see that it's running on 8 cores right now, clocked at 1.7 GHz. And again, we can check out the sensors. There we have all the sensors working just fine. Let's see what else can we do. Well, let's test the Wi-Fi signal strength, and to give you an idea how good or bad it is, let me compare it to my Xiaomi Mi 4. And they're almost the same, but I tested it several times, and usually my Mi 4 gets a better signal. There you can see it. So I would say the Wi-Fi reception on the Gionee is just average. What else do we have here? Let me clear some memory and let me start Nino Mark II. I'm not gonna run the test, I'm just gonna show you the result. It's scored at 59.6 frames and it is just a OpenGL 2.0. And let me do one more benchmark. Let me run Quadron Standard. Okay. And let's run the full benchmark, and of course this is boring, so I'm gonna do a little jump cut. Almost done. And his score is 13,802 points, which is not bad at all. Let's see what else can I show you. Let me go into the gallery real fast. Let's check out some wallpapers. And they are loading fast. And the colors and contrast look really good on this phone. It also has a very nice viewing angle. Let's test a sample video. Let me go into my videos and let me test a 1080p video, and it should be running very smoothly. Let me turn down the volume. So a full HD resolution works very nice on this phone, and a 1080p video is running just very fine and smoothly. No problem at all. Let's test out the browser real fast. Let me go into my bookmarks. Let's see what we have here. Let's check out BBC News. And it's loading quite fast, even though I'm very far away from my router right now. But surfing should not be a problem. Rotation speed is also good. Let's test the flashlight real fast, and you probably won't be able to see this, but the LED flash is quite strong on this phone. I'm really pleased with it. Let's also test the music player. Let me just play a song. We turn up the volume. I don't think the speaker is bad at all. I've definitely heard worse speakers before. What else can I show you? Let me go into the camera. Now the camera, there's something I wanted to tell you. When you rotate the camera, the picture will be upside down, as you can see. So if you want to switch into the selfie mode, you have to do that manually. Now the picture is right side up, but I don't know if you can see this. When I'm in the selfie mode, there is no LED flash available. So if you want to take selfies with an LED flash, you will either have to do it upside down or you won't have a flash at all. Now the camera settings are pretty much the standard. You can all do the regular stuff that you can do with most cameras. So there's actually no big surprise right here. Anything else I want to show you? I think I pretty much covered it all. Now let me tell you what I'm thinking about this phone. Some thoughts about this phone. The build quality is very good. It definitely does not feel like a cheap €100 phone at all. The display is also very good. In my opinion, an HD resolution is good enough for a 4.7-inch display. The performance is as to be expected from this SoC. The Wi-Fi reception is just average. I've definitely seen better. The GSM and 3G reception and also the call sound quality is normal and nothing to complain about. The speaker sound quality is not bad at all. The GPS is very strong. I was surprised. It has a very strong signal strength, it is fast and it's also very accurate. I like the camera picture quality, but of course this is something you need to check out for yourself. It's always in the eye of the beholder. So please make sure to check out some sample pictures on my blog. The LED flash is also quite strong. I tested the battery with Geekbench 3, so if you're interested in the result, please make sure to check out my blog as well. I will post the results right there. I also like that this phone has a lot of sensors. You usually don't get all these sensors in this price range. And of course there are also some obvious cons as well. Well, first of all, this phone only has 1 GB of RAM, so it's not very good for multitasking. Then of course there is a built-in battery, it has no memory card extension, and it also does not have a notification LED. The firmware is not very clean and it's a little buggy, and I highly doubt that there will ever be any updates available from Gionee. The SoC is a little last year, so there is no LTE or GLONASS support. Bottom line, I think for €100 this is a really nice phone. It's not exactly the latest high-tech from China, but for normal users it could very well be a daily driver. Last but not least, let me try to show you the viewing angles of this device and do a little gaming. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you next time.